Hey everybody, welcome back to Star Wars Minute. It's the daily podcast where we analyze, scrutinize, and celebrate the Star Wars movies 1 minute at a time. I'm Pete the Retailer from PeteTheRetailer.com.
I'm Alex Robinson from AlexRobinson.fun.
And I'm Chris Radtke from FunTimeStarWarsCity.Funcom. I live on an island. Spear me a fish.
Well, thanks for coming back again to here to Star Wars City, or from Star Wars City to
I took the express space train.
Going anywhere.
Anywhere.
We're talking today about minute 24. 24 starts with Luke surprised to see Rey being called by the Force, and it ends with Rey saying she knows this place. I know this place.
So, look, here's the thing, and I'm tired of seeing this in movies. This is something I do disagree with about this movie. If somebody hears some even slightly ominous whispers, like, the reaction is terror. It's not, the reaction isn't going to be like, oh, let me investigate that. Let me go do that. Like, if you hear,
right,
and there's not a thing you hear often, like either you're going nuts or you're in grave danger. Go away. And this whole thing of hearing those things that
haunted by a Jawa.
Nope. I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing, Rey?
Well, in this case, I'll make an exception because
it's Force tree.
It's the Force. The Force is reaching out to her and kind of soothing her and calling her in. And it's not, we're interpreting that as sound, like claw, like Ulysses' claw. We're interpreting that as sound. But the, there's a feeling to go with that in this, that I think she's being pulled, like she's feeling the pull to the magic tree.
The magic garden.
She's feeling the pull.
To the magic garden. Do we know that? Yes, this is where we see the magic tree.
Magic tree.
The magic tree. The temple is the tree. For a while I was like, oh, it's a shame we don't get to see the Jedi temple in here. I was like, oh wait, the temple is the tree.
The whole
Barada is
the whole
Dayton.
tree is one big temple.
Yeah. And this is the Uneti tree. The Uneti tree. That's
tree?
The type of tree that it is.
Uh-huh.
At first I thought it was a Nutini tree, and I was excited, but it's not. It's a Uneti tree. It's a Marty Jannetty tree, and it's that's the type of tree that was here, and then it's been hollowed out and turned into this ancient Jedi temple. We'll find out more about the why and what, when, and by whom and what for. I think tomorrow, but it's this is where we first hear the call of the tree, and she goes and she seeks it out.
Do you know what else is made out of Uneti tree in Star Wars lore?
No.
That's right. It's Chirrut Imwe's staff is made out of
really
Uneti tree.
So Uneti tree makes like Force wood. That's like a
it's the Jedi signed a deal
right.
It's like a package.
Uneti is the official tree of the Jedi Order.
If they use wood, they has to be made out of Uneti wood.
Right.
So
Castle Skywalker has the most beautiful Uneti banister that leads to the second floor. It's very nicely polished.
It's carved from one piece of...
Yes, one long piece. You may have noticed my Uneti tree banister here leading up to the second floor of Castle Skywalker.
Maybe it's Uneti because it rhymes with Jedi.
Oh. And that's how they got their name.
Yeah. Like
Uneti.
Next time you need a Uneti, contact a Jedi. Anyway, you know what I mean. Trying to come up with a slogan
Uneti,
for it.
right.
But,
Uneti.
Right. For the finest Uneti, call it Jedi. There you go.
What do you guys think of trees? There's a lot of trees in
What do you think of trees?
No, I mean like as like pop cultural things, like in the Lord of the Rings, they had the white tree that would blossom when
the world tree.
Yeah, whatever the
Big
kind of
Drazel.
stuff.
Groot.
He's a big
Poltergeist.
Poltergeist. The tree.
Poltergeist, the tree.
Yeah.
It's hard to make trees interesting. I think Treebeard was cool because of the personality they gave it, and that being like, "Oh, I'm so absent-minded."
Talking definitely helps.
Talking helps. Wizard of Oz talking trees are pretty awesome. Those fruit pie trees of McDonald Land are A-okay. There's, so talking trees, great. Spiritual trees is.
Didn't Game of Thrones also have talking trees?
Yeah, they've got the weirwood. They've got the old snow trees with carved faces, and the old folk.
So yes.
Yeah, but they're not trees. Oh, what am I talking about? The magic guy travels through the trees. He warps wood and does some tree hopping. Yeah, trees are tough, man. That's like druids and rangers.
Although it does provide an interesting contrast, because the last time we saw anything that was owned by the Jedi, it was like a big, a complex on Coruscant. So this is definitely this is kind of like a, much more of a throwback for Jedi stuff.
Yeah, well, it's literally the first Jedi temple, and so it kind of further hammers home kind of how far removed from everything they were on Coruscant. That
So do you think like
I don't think it was the first one.
There are a lot of Jedi temples are in trees. They're like, you want to start your own Jedi sect? Like, first you gotta find yourself a really good tree.
Right.
It's like the tree on Dagobah.
Yeah, Yoda went to where trees were, and what does Obi-Wan do? A desert. He goes in the middle of a desert. In the middle of a desert!
Yeah, the whole time Yoda's like, I told you to go find a nice tree.
Yeah.
But look, I've got a sand igloo. And it's like, nope.
It's like, I can't, my hair won't, the humidity.
That's living in a tree. That just
do well in the humidity, master.
I think we're all forgetting the most important tree, which is Police Academy tree, back in training.
Oh, ouch.
So Luke asks,
Richard Roundtree.
Yeah. Whose ancestors were round trees. Luke asks Rey, "Who are you?" for the first time here, which is an interesting, like, getting to her. Who
are you?
Exactly.
There's something very strange about you, girly. Matt Girly.
He's getting to the core of her, like that's her mystery. She doesn't know who she is, really.
Right.
Or is that established? I forgot if that comes up. Did that come up in The Force Awakens, or is this firmly just, we knew she was waiting.
She's waiting for, dude, the whole thing, the whole broken aspect of these movies is, there was no definitive answer as they went into production on who her parents are until JJ's like, it's Palpatine. And then we got, it's like at this
Let's
point.
say Mo.
Yeah. At this point, it is clear that Rian Johnson sets up, it's like, you know what? It doesn't matter who her parents are. She's her own person. And that's how it should have been left.
It's not about bloodlines.
It's not. It was literally like, who are you? And that was the kind of thing. Like that's all of us asking. That is Luke representing us in this, right? And he's just like, who are you? Because we're all at that moment in time. We're like, yeah, who the hell are you, lady? Because we're all crazy hermits, and that is the thing that I think resonates from this is it doesn't matter who she is. She's Rey.
Well.
Skywalker.
That was the theory anyway, but that turned out to not be true.
Oh, true. What is true?
He should have asked her and then interrupted her. It was like, just like, who are you? Well, it doesn't matter who you are.
Doesn't matter. These are the Jedi texts.
Right.
That's the first verbal. First of all, it's the first books. That's to give it a clap, right? These first books you see.
Wait, is that in today or is that in tomorrow?
She hasn't entered the tree yet. I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead.
She is. She's in the tree, but Luke hasn't talked about what it is yet.
He hasn't said it yet. Okay, so she's in the tree and she
goes towards it.
Yeah.
And the texts are there. We do see that they're there. So yes, we do.
Mm-hmm.
You see books for the first time. You just don't hear the phrase, the original Jedi texts.
And
it's just like a whole, like everyone is just like, all right, transcribe the texts of Kit Fisto to Ki-Adi-Mundi.
Yeah, take a Jedi test. You up?
Jedi text.
Yeah,
exactly.
you up?
Going to Dex's Diner. You want anything?
Yeah.
I don't believe these. Well, anyway, about the original Jedi text or this being the first Jedi temple, I don't believe any of that as the acts that might be something that is like traditionally held as the first Jedi temple, but after 1,000 generations, the Jedi have been the guardians of peace. So they must have been established even longer ago than that, which means like, how could anyone possibly know like this was the first time someone said, oh yeah, here's the Force or whatever?
What if this is actually like the local Methodist church's Halloween haunted house, where he just set this up the night before. He's like, I'll make a haunted tree. And there's literally one of the old nuns is on a microphone. He's like, it's okay that she doesn't understand you. Just whisper into this megaphone.
It's supposed to be spooky.
And it's like when the Brady Bunch haunted their house when they were going to sell.
Exactly.
She walks in, there's like, ooh, Ray.
Yeah, the sign saying "Welcome to Luke Skywalker's haunted house" blew over, and she didn't know, so she just comes in, and Luke's like, "I finally got a customer."
Yes, exactly.
So I've been sitting here setting up this whole thing.
You're ruining it.
Who are you?
Who are you?
You're at the Rosenberg party? You were supposed to be here 2 hours ago. Go ahead.
Here's another example of. I was talking about this earlier in the week. Luke is doing this kind of for attention because he's, like when Rey, he's like, no, walks away. Rey she hears the call of the tree. And Luke is just like, well, how come she's not paying attention to me anymore? And goes and follows her to the tree.
Tree!
Yeah. Don't look at the tree. Look at me. Look. Hey. Stupid tree, garbage face.
Stupid tree always stealing my attention.
But yeah, it's an interesting, like as soon as she's not paying attention to him, she goes to do something else. He's like, well, wait, what? And like follows her along. And granted, part of it is like, well, wait, why is she attracted to that tree? Because again, he doesn't know.
I don't know. I think he took. I mean, dude, like, look, it's a big island. He could have gone any other way. He walks her right past the tree. That was a test.
You think?
See if she notices.
So that's just where he. Yeah, we've replaced this tree with a haunted Jedi temple. I think that's just. I mean, his hut was set up kind of, in relative proximity to the tree because he was trying to, maintain a connection to the Force. He's since given up, but.
Do you think the tree is what made him give up? Like, he's like, these stupid books. I hate reading. I don't want to be a Jedi anymore.
It's like the kite eating tree from Charlie Brown. Like he keeps like every time he tries to do Jedi stuff, the tree is like, and like shuts him down. Plus, I hadn't thought about the weirdness of keeping books made out of pulped tree inside of a tree.
Whoa!
Maybe they were made from the pulp of that tree.
Oh, they're Uneti paper. That's good paper.
You get a lot of uses out of Uneti tree.
The daily Uneti paper. All the Octu news.
Right.
New Hermit. Yeah, right.
I totally no-sold your Marty Uneti joke, and that really is the best.
That's okay.
Sorry about that.
He was a little bit wooden.
Would you guys?
Near the Fern Michaels tree.
If a young person showed up at your door asking to be your apprentice, what would your reaction be?
I would embrace that role. I have embraced that role several times in my career.
You've been You've been a master before?
I've been a master of a stranger coming to learn my trade craft, and yeah, it's an honor and a privilege.
Were they a colossal disappointment the way all the Star Wars apprentices are?
We all fail at some point. It's not the mistakes you make; it's what you do after that counts.
That's true. Wise. Pete, you gonna take on an apprentice?
I feel like I've had them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're, whether or not it was officially, declared that, but it's always, I've had a series of people kind of working.
It's part of the reasons why they've dedicated Pete the Retailer away.
It's Street the Retailer. Come on.
Sorry. It's Street. Call me Veep. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I was gonna What about you? Do you have?
I know about your apprentices. Your apprentices, and this is very funny.
Which one? I don't even know what story you're gonna tell now.
When you've had comic book interns, those are always the funniest things ever, because it was always you like, get out of my house, get out, leave.
No, yeah, it tended to bring out it tended to be like, bring out my imposter syndrome, where I'd be like, if this person spends any time with me, they're clearly going to see that I'm just some idiot. So I think that's what the problem I have with it.
Two phases in the Alex Robinson interns.
I think I had two different ones. Yeah. And
I remember
nice guys.
They scanned a lot of pages.
Yes, thankfully. that was one thing they came in handy for. But and also I taught them a lot about Sith history. So that it really, and they say
took
the
them
best
out to
way
the opera
to learn, is
you gave them poison to drink, and then to see like the whole time you were trying, there could only be one comic book artist.
Yeah, I know. It's like this. Your anger is what drives your perspective.
In that, along those lines, there is there's a part in the novelization where Luke is saying, he says like that's my nightmare, is like just young people showing up on my doorstep thinking they're the new chosen one, asking to be trained, and so he voices that exactly same thing where he's
oh my god, he's totally talking about Grogu. He's totally like, and Baby Yoda comes, and then oh god, it ruined everything. Where is
Space Rock?
That is a thing that I've been thinking about a lot lately, is especially and then watching these minutes, I am thinking to myself, I'm like, where are you, Grogu? What is your current fate? Are you there? Are you out there? And it's
I'm assuming he's a Knight of Ren, but
no way, man. Grogu escaped all that. Grogu is on his No, so here's
this would be what, like about 30 years after the events of The Mandalorian?
I'm telling you, man, when she shows up in the next movie, when Rey is teaching at Castle Skywalker as the headmistress, if you do the math extrapolation of, because he's 50, he's the same age as Darth Vader.
Yeah.
By the time we get to Rey being the headmistress, you will have a preteen Grogu that will be the thing that'll be the Jake Lloyd connective tissue to that generation. And you're gonna get it's gonna be Kid Grogu plus Broom Boy, and they're gonna be best friends, and that's gonna be their adventure with their stuffy teacher.
Once Baby Yoda is like can talk and basically walk around on his own, why would he still be a kid at that point, do you think?
Why would we care about his adventures?
Like, if he can do those, if he's self-sufficient, why would we care?
If he's no longer adorable.
He's just awkward. I can't wait for
because like that would be like Yoda. It's almost like Gary Coleman, like you're having like Gary Coleman, who's like 20 years old, is having to hang out with like Dudley, who's like 10, pretending they're the same age. It'd be like, so Baby Yoda's gonna be like 50 years old hanging out with Broom Boy, who's like a kid. So
it depends on the development, right? So when Gary Coleman, when they said cut, Gary Coleman went and smoked the Pall Mall, right? So it's not. I think it's the development that is the question here, because clearly Yoda's develop slower. So if he's 50 years old at that point and he spent time in the Jedi Temple and he's been tossed around,
equivalent of like an 8-year-old.
He's not even. He's a baby. So he's like that's how Yoda's work.
Once again, I will encourage everyone at this point to go seek out pictures of Gary Coleman in the Edmonton Oilers locker room in the mid 80s. Bizarre.
You ever seen a grown man naked?
It's like that. At least Gretzky wore a robe. Messier is just wearing a towel and like holding a little stubby Canadian beer, and it's the sacred texts are mentioned. I got more for that tomorrow. Luke is not getting paid attention to. Who are you? I think that's all my notes for 24.
Yeah, that's what I really have. She hears the whispers. She does the opposite of what people would do, but maybe she does exactly what a hero would do. She goes towards those ominous whispers. And then Luke comes in. Who are you?
Ominous whispers. Luke says, "Who are you?" And I was like, do other people in Star Wars say, "Who are you?" And
didn't
the
we
only
do
one
this
that came up was Maz. I don't know.
Didn't we do that one?
Who are
I gotta
you?
look
But
back
anyway,
and
excuse me, my
I'll check the files. Hang on.
But it made me. I went to while researching it, I found Wikipedia has an entry, believe it or not, for Star Wars references in pop culture, and it's a list of like 8,000 different things where Star Wars has been mentioned in pop culture. So according to the list, I wrote
read
down
them all.
One that had. Here we are, starting at number 7, an episode of Simon and Simon.
Wow.
These 4 shows, Alf, Roseanne, Deep Space Nine, and Knight Rider, all had references to Star Wars in them. Which episode, which one of these had the most and which one had the least? There's actually one had 1 episode, one mentioned 2 things, one mentioned 3 things, and one mentioned 4 things. So those are the 4 shows.
How does Deep Space Nine mention Star Wars?
Well, like some character will say, like, I have a bad feeling about this.
Oh, okay.
Or some other thing that,
I
like, on a meta level, references Star Wars
or
something like that.
Well,
but
I'm assuming Alf is going to be the top. Because it's that.
Alf is number 3.
So it's Alf.
Is number 3 the top?
It's Alf, Knight Rider, Deep Space Nine, and what was the other one?
Roseanne.
I'm going to say Deep Space Nine has the most references.
Deep Space Nine does have the most references with 4.
Because it's clearly 3. because Star Trek has been playing catch up since 1977. So of course they were like, well, look, if this is going to be the best Star Trek show, then why is it the best? Well, of course it's the best because it's the one that's got a lot of Star Wars references because that's the best that Star Trek can do.
So Knight Rider comes in at the second to least with number 2, and Roseanne only had 1 reference to Star Wars throughout its run. That doesn't mean there are plenty of shows that only had 1 reference, but I was just picking.
Right, you picked
shows.
up on
some.
And again,
like
that's
The Simpsons has like 1,000 of them. So
right.
I wonder if it's even comprehensive. Could someone have possibly watched through all the Simpsons episodes and made a reference or noted every Star Wars reference?
We got to track down that editor of that page.
There's a lot of anal retentive nerds out there. I could see them doing it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What's your favorite Star Wars reference in a non-Star Wars thing, Pete?
It's tough. When I was in my 20s, it was almost anything. We would it was like fighting for crumbs.
Sure.
We're like, like, oh,
whatever you got.
Yeah.
Clerks and all that other stuff. It's like, he said Chewbacca. Like, oh my God,
Yep.
And now it's like you have to go, even deeper. It's like, IG-88. That's a fairly common reference.
So here's an interesting. A lot of people always been like, like the Jedi are forgotten, right? And it's only like 18 years since the rise of the Empire. So when New Hope starts off, they're like, oh, they're long forgotten Jedi. And there's been a lot of challenges towards that concept as being like a continuity flaw. Mm-hmm. But you know what? Like after 1983, up until when the Zahn books came out, there was no Star Wars. It was forgotten. I know exactly how that felt. Because it was fighting for crumbs. If there was like a hint of something, there was an old movie called Star Wars. And like that's... anyway, I interrupted you. You were going to answer.
Who?
You were going to answer what your favorite Star Wars
I wasn't.
reference.
I was trying to skirt around it by saying it used to be different and now it's different.
Oh, okay. Alex, how about you?
I think the two I thought of, both comedic. One was Bill Murray doing the Star Wars lounge song. But then also, just the other day, I was thinking of it. I think I've been watching a lot of Veep lately, and the scene where Matt Walsh says that he had the titular line in Star Wars. And man, am I still sick of these Star Wars. That just makes me laugh. So, for whatever the line is, I'm so tired of these Star Wars. Then you got Arrested Development, go see a Star Wars. That's a pretty good one.
You like it when it's used incorrectly. That is definitely
totally,
your...
Yeah.
That's your... it's funny.
Like, I'm not going to watch like Big Bang Theory where they, I want something to be where it's like off a little bit. So yeah, it's true.
And it's funny because like my favorite Star Wars reference it definitely defines me as well, and that is the Shockmaster.
Oh wow, yeah.
The Shockmaster is there's no better Star Wars reference to me than that those 5 minutes. Alex, I don't know if you know what a Shockmaster is.
I do know what it is.
You need to go. I'll send you a video.
Right. So everybody go research Gary Coleman in the Edmonton Oilers locker room.
That's your homework.
Shockmaster.
Don't do that one.
And watch every episode of Knight Rider.
Then you'll finally get the inside reference from that Indian in the Cupboard movie.
Exactly. And then we'll meet you back here tomorrow on a brand new Star Wars
Minute.